We now have 1 year under our belt of using My Big Campus. We have 1 year left to get ready for students have devices. You've heard from the pilot teachers this year that your effort in getting your My Big Campus site set up and ready for your courses now will pay off great dividends once students have a device. Let's look again at the philosophy behind digital curation on My Big Campus. First, we know that how the world accesses information has changed. You'll remember the picture on the left was the card catalog that you'd find at libraries. And we don't have those anymore because we have a file system now that puts that all digitally. And you have your files organized into folders and you have them stored in different locations. There's a system, hopefully, to the way that you have your files stored, just as there was a system to the way the card catalog was stored. We are teaching students from content materials, and you probably have in your memory at least your teaching materials stored in some kind of a file cabinet. Likely most of the materials you use when teaching students now can be found in that same file structure. Well, we're going to take this a step farther in digital curation, and this is where My Big Campus can become such a valuable tool. So in addition to taking the papers out of the file cabinet, digitizing them and having them on computer, we're now going to take that information and put it into an organizational system that's accessible to students. The big picture is this bundle that was created by a teacher here at Plainfield High School takes content that was once inaccessible to students, and really here in its digital form is still inaccessible to students, and makes it so that they can readily access that information. Now, this isn't taking away the role of a teacher. The teacher put this together and put value into the content that was here so that students could understand the information. You know, if we just made students able to access the files that we had for a particular unit, they wouldn't be able to just learn by opening the different files. The teacher's role then is to take that and organize it and give background information. And we're not going to move anytime soon to a time where My Big Campus takes over the role of the teacher completely. But if you think about the time you spend in the classroom, once students have devices, some of that time that was spent relaying information to students can now be spent in the classroom doing other things like checking for understanding and answering questions and working with students one-on-one. Please note that My Big Campus is only one of the ways PHS teachers can manage this digital content curation. There are others, but all of our students are going to be familiar with using My Big Campus. It's going to be a universal language that we speak, and so it's a really valuable resource to do that. Again, we're looking at philosophy here. In another video, we'll take a look at the process to make bundles and to make them usable. But our end result is that students learn and demonstrate understanding. And if you step back from that, before that can happen, we have to make sure that content can get delivered to students. And before that step, we have to locate resources to use to deliver that content to students. And we do that within the context of lessons that are chunked up to help students make sense of that information. And before we can provide the lessons, we take the information and put it into big units of study so that those individual lessons can support the different ideas in there. And this comes from the fact that you have a curriculum for your class to present. And so if we look, the order should come from the curriculum, which for many of us is determined by the state. But you take that curriculum and maybe working with your team, chunk that into units of study, you develop the lessons, you find the resources. And here's another place where education is changing, is that traditionally, this resource was primarily a textbook that was used to provide that content to students. And with our digital world that we're in today and the constant access to the internet and to new information and articles and thoughts, that need for the textbook to be the primary resource is really being replaced by different access. But still, that role is going to be on the teacher to determine what those resources are that are then useful to convey that to students. So using My Big Campus isn't going to really change these first two foundational points. You're still going to work with a curriculum that's determined. You're still going to take that curriculum and combine it into different units of study. Where My Big Campus can make that really useful is to then take those units of study and help you develop the lessons with resources, and you can actually use My Big Campus to access some great resources, and then take those resources and deliver them to the students, and then you can actually use that then to check for understanding from the students with something called schoolwork. So year one with My Big Campus, your goals were to work with groups, to create a bundle, and to create schoolwork so that you could see the big picture of how My Big Campus works. Year two, our goals, informal at least, are to make sure that you can see the usefulness behind My Big Campus and envision what that's going to be like once students have a device in your room, and then begin developing those materials so that when students have that device, they can access content that is organized by you and managed by you as the teacher. So you all have created a bundle at least once before, but let's go through the process again. One way to do that is to push the orange Create button. We're going to click Bundle, and I'm going to give an example. Bundle. Now, as we continue our work with My Big Campus, you can spend your time refining the bundles that you create. I really encourage you at this point just to do the minimum it takes to get them up and running, so we don't have to fill out objective, we don't have to do summary or select a bundle type. Once you enter the title, you can save the bundle, and only after you save the bundle can you leave this page. Now we're going to go in and add some content. And one of the ways we can add content is to simply type in text. Oops, let's show that first. So we want to insert text. So I can type, this is information student's name, and I can use this HTML editor to add some more information. For example, this link shows that I can access a website and research. So I want students to be able to access research from this link. I highlight it, push the link, and then I can type in the URL. I like to have the target set to new window. This helps with the navigation so that they don't get lost in the process of accessing this. You can embed in here pictures. So you have images that are already uploaded to My Big Campus, or you can upload it as you go there. You can insert a video from your drive. We'll take a look at the drive in just a moment. And you can insert a video from the My Big Campus video library. And if you pull that, it's going to have you search. And so I want to take a look at, let's try again, RESEARCH. So here's some videos that can be used, research on We. So the video is now inserted into the bundle. We're finished editing this section, so I push Done Editing Text. I can always get back in and make changes by select Edit Text, and then I can go back in and make whatever changes I want. So way one, we can insert text. We want to upload files. So we click Upload Files. We're going to locate a file that we want to upload. Click on it, press Open. It's processing to upload it, and there it is. So right away it just pulls in this document. So it's not really necessary for me to take the step of saving the document to my drive in My Big Campus first, although you can. We can just take it from wherever your file storage system is for your digital documents. If I want to get rid of it, I can push this red X, and away it goes. So I'm going to save the bundle in between each of these actions that I do. Third way to put in information is over here on Select Type of Content. And one of the things you can do is, if you have saved documents to your drive, you can click here, and these are documents that I've saved to my drive. I can take those and just pull them over. If I want to put it after the video that's there, I click on it and drag it over, and you see that it places it after the video. Once you get something set, you can actually change the order of it. If you hover over it until you see that gray panel, then when you click on it, you have the ability to move it. I'm rolling with my mouse button. It's a little bit cumbersome to do so, but you can change the position of things within a bundle. Another thing that I can put in adding content here is from the MBC library. So here are documents. Remember, I searched earlier for research, and it immediately was taking me to videos only because I had narrowed it down to search for videos, but here are other documents that are available in the My Big Campus library. Probably an easier way to search for that I'll show you in just a moment. We can put in schoolwork. We saw an example that some teachers had done that. So here's a schoolwork assignment I've created. I put it in here. Now notice that it's not assigned. I'm just kind of saving a place in my organization of course materials for that to be assigned when I'm ready. And I can also put in other bundles. And so one real useful thing is to create bundles within bundles. So this bundle could be Unit 1, and within this bundle I can have class notes. I could also have resources on a specific chapter. And so when I put it there, it comes in after that. I can have chapter 18 in here within this Unit 1, which covers chapter 17 and 18. Inside this bundle that's called chapter 17, I could have further sub-bundles contained within there. So again, big picture, we're trying to take My Big Campus as a way to organize our digital content and curate that and gather it together and make it accessible for students. So there are a multitude of ways that this will work for your class. Remember to keep saving your work as you go. We're going to not push this publish button. Again, we're focusing on just getting it useful for our classes and not necessarily trying to share it with others. But you'll find that other teachers have been very willing to share their bundles, and I'll show you how to access those. We can link standards to the content within that bundle. You can add cover art, which is this picture you sometimes see up in the corner. If you're working with another teacher in a class, you can add a collaborator, and this is where you were asked to add Mr. Seifert and myself so that we could take a look at some of those bundles. And you can always take a look at the student view of the bundle with View Bundle. I have to go back in to continue editing, save. Don't have any changes that need to be saved. So a couple of other things that were mentioned in here. Your drive is your file organizational structure. Bundles is where if you push this create button and create a bundle, it's automatically saved in here. And you can see my organization probably needs some help. So what I want to do within this bundle is create a folder. And so I'm going to be creating a folder called Physics, and I want to save within this folder all of the bundles that relate to physics. So I'm going to go back out, and some of these bundles that I already have in here do relate to it. So let me pull those in. So I'm going to click on the checkbox. You see that I get the option to move. I'm going to tell it I really want this to be within bundles in my file called Physics. I didn't like that. Let's try again. I'm going to move that within bundles. I'm going to go to the file called Physics and move it. Worked that time. So now when I go into here, I see that I have a bundle that's used for this. Remember, we're talking about these sub-bundles. So I create a bundle. It's really helpful to use these folders to organize them. But the folders themselves that I create within my drive are not really accessible to students. The content in the bundle is how we get that out to students. We've also talked about the library on My Big Campus, and let me show you an easier way to search for information in there. So here's library. Once I go into the library, I can search. So I'm in the library and I can search for, let's say, physics. And you'll notice I've got videos and bundles coming up. I may have some websites and documents. You can narrow that down if you're specifically searching for a video. You can look here. So I want to see what this video is about. It's one I actually uploaded here. So I can watch the video. Notice I can add it to my drive. So I can kind of save a snapshot of this from the library so I don't have to keep going back into the library to access that. So I'll add that to my drive. I can also add to a bundle. So I can go directly in and add it to a bundle. And here I have the need to organize my bundles and my folders. There's one called physics, and I can add it's been added to that bundle called physics I created. Now let's go back and see where that all was. So I'm in library searching. I saved something to my drive. So I'm going to go into drive. I go to library, and I'm going to search for the most recent document that was there. So I'm pushing this modified, and it's organizing the files that are there so I can access them a little bit more easily. And so here's that Higgs boson video that I saved to my folder. Back to drive. I also saved something into a bundle. So let me go back in and look at my bundles. I saved something to my bundle called physics. I'll be careful, that wasn't my bundle called physics, that was my folder that I was supposed to be organizing things in called physics. So let me find my bundle that's called physics. And remember, from the library, I directly inserted that video into this bundle called physics. So let me back up one more time. In my drive, this bundle, find bundles, this bundle called physics is buried in this list of other things I have saved in my drive. So I'm going to take that and move it to the folder within bundles that I have created called physics. And so now when I go into physics, the folder here is the bundle called physics, and so it's a much easier way for me to organize that information. Let's take a look at some bundles created by PHS teachers to show digital curation in action. So first of all, we have a group that is created by Mr. Kniebe, and we'll look more at groups. That's the mechanism we use to share the bundles with students. But first we create the bundles. So you see that he has many bundles linked, and each of these bundles is representing a course of study. And he posted these as they went through the course. So now we're at the end of second semester, and you can see that if we click on East Asia, here are the course materials and resources that he used to convey this content to students. There's documents, there's a PowerPoint, we've got videos, and that is one method to organize. Each of these bundles then is representing a unit of study. Mrs. Payton has a bundle that takes the organization of the content to a different level. So as we scroll through here, you can see that she's communicating with students an entire assignment, course of study, unit of study. This is actually a summer assignment that she's giving. And all of the information that's needed for students to be able to successfully complete this is provided within the bundle itself. If we go back to Mr. Kniebe's, we see that the resources are there, but we're trusting that in class he's providing those that information to connect this to students. So we've got marked for each different task. There's a document. If we continue down, she's got schoolwork embedded in the bundle, and students can access that schoolwork and complete it as they move from one point to another. And so by the time a student completes this bundle, they have completed this unit of study to prepare themselves for AP Literature for their senior year. One of the features that can be used to help students navigate through a bundle as a way to access resources are bundle locks. And you can see in this bundle, Mrs. Payton has prepared a schoolwork assignment. Here it is. So students have been reading Fahrenheit 451 and taking notes on it. So here's where they're taking notes to answer those questions. And then once they complete this schoolwork, which when they bring it up, we'll have an assignment here. Only after they complete that and maybe meet a certain set of criteria can they then move on to the rest of the content that is locked underneath that bundle lock. So I'm imagining a scenario, you give an introduction to students that they have to complete, set some kind of a minimum number of questions that they have to get right to be able to move on, and then they have access to more content below that. A good way to start with organizing your bundles is to map out how you want to organize the content. So one option is shown here. I could take my whole content of physics, separate it into semester 1 and 2, and each of these would be a bundle. Within that, I'd have a sub-bundle called Unit 1, 2, 3, 4, and within each of those units, I'd have a sub-bundle called Notes, Videos, Assignments. Or maybe I want to look at it this way. So I have Physics, Semester 1, Unit 1, and within Unit 1, I've separated it into concepts. You have many options on how you take the information you want and chunk it to then put in your bundles. Let's go with this file structure, and let me show you how to set up your bundles within bundles to create something that looks like this in My Big Campus. So first of all, I'm going to keep this up, and I just drag it to the left, and on Windows 8.1 that makes it half the screen size. And now I want to go to My Big Campus. I gotta make it a little bit bigger to see it all. So, all right, we're going to, in Drive, first of all, in Drive, I've organized my files. I took all of the ones that were there and put them in an archive folder so that now I can more easily see what I have available. I'm going to create a bundle. So I'm going to create my first bundle called Physics. So that's my overarching bundle. I'm just going to save it for now. And notice when I do that, go back into Drive, I now have inside bundles this bundle called Physics. I'm going to go ahead and create, and I don't want to use this new. Actually, if you use the new to create a bundle, you have this option. It automatically puts it in your home directory of Drive, not in this bundles folder. So it just makes it a little more difficult to find once you create it. So on this orange create button, bundle, it defaults to save that under the bundles folder within your Drive. So the next one I want is, and I'm just going to go ahead and be really clear when I name these. So I want Physics Semester 1. So this is my sub-bundle that's going to go within Physics. Okay, I need another one, so I'm going to create another bundle. This one is going to be Physics Semester 1, Unit 1. And I'm going to create one more. Create a bundle. And I want Physics Semester 1, Unit 1, Concept 1. Now, you could abbreviate all of that, so let's make this easier. Let's call it P, Semester 1, Unit 1, and then I can call it Concept 2. You have some, or Concept 1, sorry. You can make that naming system whatever works for you. Save the bundle. Now let's go back to Drive and see where all of those are located. So in Bundles, I now have these that I've just created. So before I move on, I want to make life a little bit easier, and all of these bundles I want to move into my folder called Physics. So I've selected them. I'm looking within bundles. I'm going to select this Physics bundle. Make sure you see the color changes once it's selected. And now those disappear from my main bundles folder within my home drive of the drive. And I look into Physics, and here they are. But I'm going to go ahead and make my life easier for the long run and create a new folder. And I'm going to call this Semester 1. Could call it Physics Semester 1. And I'm just going to save anything that has to do with Semester 1 of Physics in that folder. So let's see, I want Concept 1 and Semester 1 and Unit 1 to go into bundles, physics, semester 1. So again, let's look. I have a folder within here called semester 1, and all of the files, the bundles that relate to semester 1 I can put in here. Now, you are welcome to make this file organization structure work for you. So however many folders within folders you need to ensure that you're able to access and find the information you want. So now let's take a look at this bundle called physics. This is the most recent one I created. And I want to add some content to it. So let's edit. And again, what I'm trying to show you is this file structure right here. So here is physics, the bundle. In here I need to put semester 1. So I'm going to go to content, type of content. I've made a bundle, and I know the name, so I can narrow it down to physics semester 1. So there it is. Now I also, probably before I would really start setting this up, I'd also have a semester 2. And so in this bundle called physics, I'd have bundle physics semester 1, and I'd have another bundle physics semester 2. Save my bundle. All right, now in this bundle, which I can actually just open by linking here, in my semester 1, I want to content add a bundle, and this one I want to add is unit 1. And I'm pushing enter to select once I do that. So here's physics semester 1, unit 1. Now also again, I would have physics semester 1, unit 2, physics semester 1, unit 3, etc. Drag those all over. And I'm going to save. Just scroll up to see the save button. And then we can go into this bundle and edit to add another bundle, and I'm just using a term I know that is in there to help me search quickly. So there is my concept 1 that goes within physics 1 semester 1. So let's save bundle, go back out and show you that structure. So here's my bundle. This is my big bundle physics. Here we go. I've got a link to semester 1, unit 1. I'd also have unit 2 to compare that to, and here's concept 1. And again, this is just one suggestion of a possibility of organizing your content. There's many more. A good idea to brainstorm the layout of that before you begin to make those bundles.